Well, good people, we're going to change up a little bit here and talk about female gangs. And we're going to start off with Stephanie Sinclair, who was a racketeer and ran numerous enterprises in Harlem, New York in the early 20th century. St. Clair resisted the mafia's interest for several years after Prohibition ended. She became a local legend for her public denunciation of corrupt police and for resisting mafia control. She ran a successful numbers game in Harlem and was an activist for the black community. Her nickname for the black community was Queenie, Madam Queen, Madam Sinclair, and Queen of the Policy Rackets. Awesome lady, huh? How she started. After her mother's death, she immigrated to the U.S. in 1912, where she fell in love with a small-time crook named Duke. Duke tried to prostitute her. She wasn't going for that action. And he actually was shot in a fight between another gang, which ended his pressure on her to become a prostitute. A few months later, she decided to start a business selling controlled drugs with her new boyfriend, whose name happened to be Ed. After a few months, she made $30,000 and decided she didn't need Ed. She wanted to leave him and start a business of her own. And Ed wasn't going for this. He tried to choke her to death. However, this lady shoved him so hard, he fell, cracked his head on a table, and died. Well, Queenie went on from there. For months afterwards, she employed her own men, bribed policemen, and on April 12, 1917, invested $10,000 of her own money in a clandestine lottery game in Harlem. As a result of her success running one of the leading numbers games in the city, she became known throughout Manhattan as Queenie, but Harlem residents referred to her as Madam Sinclair. Sinclair was known to put out ads in the local newspapers educating the Harlem community about their legal rights, advocating for voting rights, and calling out police brutality against the black community. Several times she complained to local authorities about harassment by the police. When they paid no heed, she ran advertisements in the Harlem newspaper accusing senior police officers of corruption. We'll talk about St. Clair in part 2. This lady had nerves of steel. Stephanie Sinclair, look her up. Have a good day.